Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and today I'm coming to you with the books that I read in the first half of July. Paladin of Souls by Lois McMaster-Bujold, the sequel to Curse of Chalion, the kind of companion sequel. This follows basically a dowager queen who traveling somewhere, and basically she's encountering possessed people and all this other stuff. And the characters are so well-rounded, and the plot is really well-rounded, and just a lot of things about the world building are really clever without necessarily even being that overly unique. Basically, you know, I just really like Lois McMaster-Bujold's writing and character building, just kind of overall. I think her books are really great. So the three other books that I read this month that were that each of them were a little bit disappointing. Firstly, Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This is a space opera about a guy who has to marry this other guy for political reasons, whose previous husband was mysteriously killed in an accident, and he's the only one who, you know, really thinks that it looks like murder. So the two of them have to basically try to, first of all, work out this new relationship, see if they can make things work. They have to find out what's going on as well, when no one really believes them about it being murder and all of that. And then, of course, you know, whatever happened is coming back to get them. Someone's after them now. So I liked this book. I thought it was, you know, a good setting and a good idea and all of that. It was just the execution of it didn't quite work for me. I felt like overall the character depth was not quite there. And then my least favorite trope in the frickin' world is the surprise villain. And we have not one, but two surprise villains in this book. And I just was like, no. But so anyway, not a bad book at all. It just didn't completely work for me. I thought it could have been a lot better. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, one thing I really liked was the way that they actually incorporated gender identity into it, is that one's gender has absolutely nothing to do with what they look like. It has entirely to do with the different ornamentation they wear as, like, essentially pronoun pins. Oh, I saw that she was a girl because she tied her scarf on the side or whatever. Or, oh, I saw that that this was a man because he had a wooden pendant or whatever it was. So, like, there are different things that people are doing as essentially the equivalent of a pronoun pin, and there was nothing, like, nobody's gender was assumed at all, basically, in the whole book, and that's one thing I thought was really, really cool about it. Next, we have Way Home by Peter S. Beagle. This is basically a sort of companion sequel to The Last Unicorn. It's two novellas that take place in the world of The Last Unicorn, following the events of The Last Unicorn, etc., etc. So the first one of them, so they do follow the same main character. There's just a little bit of a time skip, so it really didn't even feel like it's two novellas. It felt like the same story. In the first one, she does meet up with the characters from The Last Unicorn. It's just that it's been a while. They're, like, all old now and all of that. And there's just a different ordeal that kind of goes on. And then the second one follows that main character dealing with something else several years later. So overall, I didn't dislike this book at all. I thought it was still pretty good. It's just that it wasn't quite... I didn't really understand why we were following the person and the people we were following. Like, I don't really know why, you know, there was not really anything that profound about this story. And as a follow-up to The Last Unicorn, which is so full of really profound quotes, and, like, I've read The Last Unicorn multiple times because I just find more and more in that book. Every time there are so many quotable things in there that are really profound statements, but this really had none of that, and I was kind of like, okay, but overall, not bad still. And then Persephone Station. This is basically, you know, I was kind of promised a little bit more of an adventure story. It's supposed to be very Cowboy Bebop-ish and all of that, but it was a real slog to get through. Not a lot of conflict necessarily happened. Like, yeah, we get a lot of action, but there's not a whole lot of conflict, so there's not as much in there to make us invested in the characters. I did enjoy that the characters are really, you know, diverse, and they're all different ethnicities. There are a lot of non-binary people in it, all of that. And so I thought it was, you know, still a good enough book, but overall a little bit disappointing. So anyway, those are the books that I read in the first half of July. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.